So, hi everybody and welcome back. This is Unreal Engine tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 37 and we continue with our animation blueprint graph setup. So, let's get, let me cancel this one here and let's get starting. We are back. What is that? That's not. We are back here. And we want set up now this blueprint update animation, and we already set up this event blueprint initialize animation, which is just a reference to our character and its movement component. Perfect. And now we open up again our animation blueprint. I go to my folder again. I go to animations, animation blueprints, and I open it up. And then I dock this on top, of course. And here I go to the right click and go to event. And now I have here the thing what I set up. Let's, what I should make here too is write a comment. You can select all here, then press C and a comment pops up and we write here just ref, ref, ref means just reference to character, player character. That's enough. And then let's set here another color, which means a good color is all time success. This one is very simple and means all okay. You can of course change the color what you want, and let's continue. This one, we will set up this variable in a moment. And this one, let's make this a little bit little. So let's continue here a little bit. So we need something, and what we want, our goal, let's define fast our goal, because without a goal makes no sense. Our goal is all time to get this speed, right? So we have this animation blueprint. Let's go me fast in my locomotion. Let's open this one up. And the thing what we want is just get this speed. And I found a way. Let's go back to our event graph. And we said in the speed we can get from our character, and for the character we have set a reference and we have now access to all its values. Very nice. And now we are going to set up to get this speed value. And how we are going to do this is we are using this event blueprint update animation. And here, a very, very important note. This event graph, which you see here in animations, is not the same. It's similar. You can see we can use here nodes and we can program. That's all right. But here we are using a node which will update every frame, which means this one is performance heavy, and you should use this very, very little as possible, and which means use it only when you have to. And in our case we have to use it because the only way to get the speed change is that when the speed changes we have to react, right? Because when our speed is changing, I want say, okay, now you should walk, or I want say at this speed you want stop or run or whatever. But this is only possible when we really check every frame. So we have here no choice to use this blueprint update animation. And let's get started. This is a very important side note, only keep that in mind. So let's set up. What we need first here is I get my character, which I have referenced here on top, which is SBB Infinity Warrior in my case. And how I get this character now here to use, you can go to the variables, which we have here on the left side, just drag and drop it here in our scene and then set a get. And now I have this character variable. Now with this one, I have all access of my character properties, what I can do with that. But we have to change this one. When you right click on it, we can convert it to a validate get. What means validate get in this case? Validate get means like validate check if this character is actually there. Sometimes the character is killed and this validate get will not say is not validate, right? So if your character is not killed or not died or whatever, then it will then we will use this is validate pin. And in other case, if it's not validate, we will use nothing. Let's do nothing, please. All right. The next thing is then we have check some values. Let's do it like in our setup default character. They use a sequence node. Let me explain you what a sequence node is. A sequence node, let's find it first. We can write here sequence, and then it pops the sequence node up. You can click on it, and the sequence node is again a node for flow control. Flow control means here just it will give you the opportunity to check different pins, what we have here, but you see we have only here 0 and 1. Let's make one more, and to do so, here is a add pin with a plus sign, and we press it. Now we have 3 pins, and let me explain first what this means. So this will do different checks, but it will not. Let me switch here over, it's easier here to explain. First of all, if normally this white line, what you have here, would go in, then here, in, and then it's finished, right? So it would go in, then it would go here, and then it would go here, for example, the top one, and then it's finished. But this sequence mode means after I finish the first one, then I go immediately to the second one and do all this stuff, and then I go immediately to the last one in this case and do this one. So that's why it will do this in a sequence from top to down, and it will not end it, right? That's very important. That's why we use here a sequence, and it's almost parallel. It's not real parallel, because for a piece for the compiler and for the game engine, it's a sequence that's from top to down, but for us this one will be so fast as a player you will not notice that one, how this is checked. So let's go back to our sequence, and what we need is just the speed. And how we get it, let me show you here. It's already, we get the movement component, because the movement component has the speed. Then I will get from it the velocity, and that's a little bit strange, right? It's not called speed, it's called here velocity. That's very important. Then normally we can get it directly here. They have made here a setter, because they need all time when you see a setter means and it creates here a variable on the variable side, which means they will use this later again, because the setter makes only sense when you really use this. You could here go directly to this vector length xy also normally, and then get here the speed. But you see they said this velocity is a very important thing which we use later in our graph. In our case we are not using that. That's why we are not doing that. We use that later when we make this. So let's go to our graph. Let's start this. How we start it again? Okay, movement component. How I get the movement component, and we go back to our component, and we have a problem here. Where is my movement component? And actually that's very strange. Where is my movement components? Here is my components here. Okay, why is that one there and not there? Let me check one thing, because this one has its references here on this one. Character. I probably dropped it to the category. I can show you this one too. So, but this one is components. Normally I have a reference here. Character movement in components. Strange thing. Yes. Anyway, let's continue, because they are just naming a little bit strange. We have our character movement component. You get it from here. You make here again a get. Perfect. I have my character movement here. And then you can drag and draw out. What this means, let me show you fast what this means again. In our character means I'm here right now. Actually, that is the same thing like I'm here. And now I can go here to the details panel and pick something what I need. And they picked, when you see here, velocity. Okay, let's find in if we have this one. Velocity. Interesting is I found it or I wrote it wrong. Oh, what is that? Velocity. Yes, I have to learn writing. Velocity is here anywhere. Velocity. Yes, indeed, we have it. You see, this one is here anywhere, and they just take it. And we do it same. So they said in velocity, we have here again too many options. And we go down to the section where it says velocity, and there is a getter. A getter means all time get this variable, please. This property in character movement, if there is a getter. Sometimes there is not a getter, careful about that. But in this case, we have it. Now I have this velocity, perfect. And let's see. This one we don't set right now because we don't need it. They need it, we don't need it. You can set it if you want, but I set it only when I need it, because in programming there is a very simple rule which means use that what you need and don't use that what you don't need. Right now I don't need it, so I don't use it. Let's continue here. And I said, yes, I need this vector length xy, and this one is determining my speed. That's not easy to know at start, I think, because you need here a little bit background knowledge that this one is actually the speed later. I would know it not too, actually. I just get it here. So what was the note? Okay, that was vector length x y. Okay, and we write again vector length, and you see there are different vector lengths and so, and then vector length x y, we have it. And then I select all, I press Q, and you see it becomes a line, very nice. And this one is actually our speed, right? This one is, you see, it's not easy to know, like I said, but this one is our speed value, all right? And what we have to do is, you can again click here, promote to variable, but this one, careful, we have already defined here our speed variable. So we drag out this one here. You can set it, or easier, you can drag this out and pin it directly here. And then it's create the setup for you. So this one we connect here now with our first sequence. And this is almost done. When I compile it now, we have still the compiling errors. One moment. But we have not used this other pins. Or perhaps we go there. If we don't go there, we will remove them, because use only that what you need, right? And we go back, check something fast, and probably I need this one too, should move. Yes, that will be a little bit, yes. Let's make this one too. This is falling, we skip because we are not using jump right now. But this one I have to set up too. And what this is, let me explain this one too. Because right now I have this speed value. That's good. So let me go here to my locomotion. I change here to my animation graph. Here I click double on it. I'm here again, and this one I have. This is perfect. I have now the speed value. You see, this is the speed, and we have programmed this one. I have this, and it will update every frame. So when I go to my animation blueprint, this one, when the speed changes, for example, I change it here manually, it will check all time this value of speed, and then it will do all the stuff for me. It will just blend over. Nice. Good. The problem here is, and this one, not the problem, which we have to set up is the second sequence. Here it sets, it's very good, set should move to true only if the ground speed is above a small threshold. And that's the point. Yeah. to prevent incredible small velocities, right? This one from triggering animations. You can read this too, right? So the point is we have a problem here with this start point and end point. And to set up this one, we have to create all this variable. But I think we can make this now faster, because if you understand that we have just to determine when the movement starts, then we should start blending. But very important, where I need this variable here should move, and when I go back to my animation, which is this one, and go here back a little bit here to locomotion, and in my locomotion we have these transitions, right? Here I'm idling, which you can see here on the left, but this one, these arrows, when I compile, are exactly the start points when you want to go to this BS walk run animation. And this one is the setup which we have to do with this should move, right? After a threshold, which we will set up here, it should set this one up. And you can see this is just a variable, and we create this should move there. Let's make this fast too, because we are then finished with that one, and our animation setup is finished. It's not too complicated, and let's get started. Let's go again to our event graph. I go here to the animation blueprint. I click on event graph. I'm on top. I finished my first sequence. That's perfect. I have my speed. Now I need this threshold set up, and I use my second. And no, I start with the character movement component, because you can see here we need again the character movement. Then we need this get current acceleration. This needs all time a little bit background knowledge, but because from 0 to set up, this one is not so easy, but we have this. We can use that what we already have, like I did here, like I do here, not I did. And let's do it. Move component. How we get our movement component here on the right side, character movement. Okay. Get, and then get acceleration, right? Just acceleration, and it pops most time up. Acceleration, you see I don't even know the names too so much, but get current acceleration, that's interesting. Get max acceleration, and these are the properties which you can select. That's the problem, and you have here know a little bit background knowledge which you really need. And I, for example, I don't need which one we need here. Get current acceleration, so I need the current acceleration. Okay, I write again acceleration, get current acceleration, it pops up, nice. Get current acceleration, Q for this one, so it's in a straight line. And let me watch this through what it does, and I explain you what they do. So what they do here is creating a not equal node, and then they make okay. And then we have here the ground speed. Here is the threshold. It gets the speed, and it checks if the speed is greater 3 than, and if the acceleration is not this one, what is this? Returns true if I is not equal to a vector p. Yes. Yes, with a special arrow. Yes, this one should not to this one equal. Okay, I will explain this to you a little bit more in detail. Let's use this and then I explain this, because this one is a little bit more complicated to explain. Let's go there. First of all, let's start with the easy one. Get the speed and set the threshold. Okay, nope, I have to go here down a little bit. I get the speed variable. Okay, I have this now. And what I'm doing now is a comparison operator. I compare it just to a value. This is just 3, the value 3, okay. And what I write, you can write just this greater sign, and this node is a comparison operator. You see, you can now compare the speed to a value, and this value actually is this threshold where it should start going to moving. Right now I'm staying idling in my position, and they set it to 3. And if you don't know these numbers, you can test this later for other animations, for example fight animations, so on. But right now they set it. Okay, let's continue. And then we set this one up. Okay, the end node means just is a Boolean node actually. Not a Boolean node, is an end node. Not a Boolean node, is something else. Is a end. Yeah, it's indeed a Boolean node. It's called. It's called an end Boolean. And important is about this node. This is a logical node. And logical nodes means you have. They will accept only certain conditions. For example, in this case, both sides must be true, and this side must be true, then I will continue. If one of the sides it's coming in is not true, I will not continue, or I will say false. So if both are true, I say true. If one of you are false, I will say false. And this one you have to look up in documentation what this is, a programming thing. But in our case, my explanation must be enough because that takes too much time. Let's continue a little bit. And let's see, one thing what we have here down here was this not equal node. This is again a logical node. Let's make not equal, and not equal we can write with this sign as a shortcut, or you write it in words not equal. There is one more not equal exactly node, which is a little bit more complicated. We use this normal one, not equal. Not equal, it says like it is. Oops, let's take this down. And not equal means just it should not equal with the setting you want. For example, this pin comes in, this acceleration, and if this is not equal to setup what you have set here, then I will say true. If this one is equal, for example, to this value which I set up here, I will say false, right? And then you connect this one here, and these are all conditions checking. So this both are only conditions checking, and this one is also just a condition checking. And after this one, what they did, let me show you this one too. And they set this last condition should move. Okay, and we can do this one too. And this one they promoted then to a variable because they created from this one all these conditions one last condition, which is then should move code. Let's call this also. Click on this one, go to the right side on top variable name and name it. Let's call it also should move. Should move. Should move. All right, we have also should move. And we connect our sequence now with this one. A double click here, so we make it a little bit more pretty perhaps, so that we can see it later very easy. And this one was a waste. Let me delete this one and connect this one. All right, and now they are okay, but this pin I have not used. Let's right click on this last pin because right now I don't use it. Remove execution pin. Perfect, it's gone. Now I have only used this pins. Let's compile, and we have still this arrow. The reason for that one is, let me go just a little bit up. These variables, we have created them here, but we have never used them. We may have to use them right now, and we are going to use them in our locomotion here. And in these transitions, I said, first I start, oops, with this, no, let's go back. First, I enter this one, I'm in idle mode, and we can see here, it is active. This is, you see every frame it is checking here, and it's idling. Then I will give you now a reason to go to the walk, and I will give you a reason back to go to idle. And we have to define this, and we double click it, and this one is just asking which condition you want, and we have created this should move. We get this one here, or you just connect it directly here, it's easier. And then you connect this one. Now if I compile this one, the first arrow is gone. And we have to do the backwards as well. I click here back, and should move And important here is, I forgot something. I can't connect this one here directly because this one was the forward way was positive, should move yes, but the back way can't be used this way, right? So when I make this one, we have a problem. Let me show you this one. Or I show you later this one. Let me show you here what I mean. Let's go here to locomotion as well. So for example, here, this is the normal way. Yeah, you should move, or if all conditions are true. But the back way, you should move only if the conditions are not true. And they negated this, also negate a boolean, right? And let's do this too. In our case, we have to go to the right place first. The back is not. Let's add a not. So not means I negate my input, and this one I have to get. Okay, this one is not the one. This is not equal. Why is that there? Not equal, not boolean. Is there this one? The not boolean we have to find, and this is just the opposite, right? So, and then we select all and Q. Okay, and then we go compile, save. Now we have no arrows, and we are almost done. There is, I think there is enough. Let's see, let's check this. Let's write here also a comment here. Select all, press C for comment, and write here anything what you think makes sense to describe this structure. And check, I write just here, check speed and should move. Yeah. Also, or write get will speed and should move. Makes easier for me, and then write this one. So you see, I write not so much because this is essential. Also get variable speed and should move. I should write here also and checks it every update, but that I know already. All right, this one compiles, save, and we are back to our animation. Save all, save selected. Let's see if we have something. So this is now and now let's see if I can walk. Okay, I jump, works not, but I can walk. That was our thing. We have set it up. It works. That what we set up works, but the jump works not, right? And this jump we will solve in the next one, and probably you can think about it that it was set up here. Let me go here again to locomotion here, entry, and lower the let me go here, and you can see this one we have at least set up so far. This one is working. We have set up the first basic, but we have set up now the jump, and the jump is here a little bit strange actually, because this is in UE5 a little bit made differently than in UE4. Normally, well, let me show you this fast too, because this is very important. If you watch other videos or something like that, you would have normally a locomotion graph where it goes from this state, for example, to a jump start, jump end, and so with other words, the same thing what you can see here, which is connected actually. Here it's not connected. That's new, and I have to watch this also. And this one we are going to set up in the next video, and I hope it was not too complicated. And yeah, see you in the next. Bye.